we're sending a signal to the Jamaican people, and in particular, all law-abiding and decent citizens of this country, to join us in the work that we are doing to safeguard the future of our country as we move towards a just, safe, and secure Jamaica.
The Ministry of Justice is finding an innovative way to use community members to promote peace. We'll show you how later in the show. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Also coming up, the Rural Agriculture Development Authority is using technology to increase the country's agricultural output, and later we'll show you how dairy farmers in St. Thomas are overcoming obstacles to increase milk production. Stay with us.
I remember when I didn't like school and Mommy used to have to wake me up. Tabla, hurry up. You're going to be late for school.
Hey, now that I have a tablet, you don't need to wake me up. Since Mommy and Daddy bought me a tablet, I use my tablet for all kinds of cool stuff. I use my tablet to read books. I use my tablet to learn about history and science. I use my tablet to help with my homework. I even use it to talk to my daddy at work. Hello, Daddy!
Learning is easy and fun with a tablet. Take care of your tablet, use it wisely.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale, and this is your GIS News for Wednesday, September 14. Government has awarded Jamaica's third domestic mobile spectrum license to Symbiote Investments Limited, operators of Carousel, the island's first fully Jamaican-owned service provider. Prime Minister Andrew Holness confirmed the agreement in a statement to Parliament yesterday. It follows a report by the Office of the Contractor General advising against awarding the license as a result of adverse traces on one of the company's directors.
That the adverse traces cited in the special OCG report related to information gathered as far back as 2009, that the police have advised that the party in question is not currently the subject of any investigation. And secondly, Mr. Speaker, the non-issuance of the spectrum license and the circumstances which we have outlined would be tantamount to a revocation of the grant of the said license and would be in violation of the principles of natural justice.
The Prime Minister says Cabinet came to its decision after careful consultations with the Attorney General, Office of the Utilities Regulation, Spectrum Management Authority, Jamaica Constabulary Force, and Symbiote Investments. Meanwhile, he says the Spectrum Management Authority will deal with claims that Symbiote was using the spectrum without the requisite approvals. And going forward, Cabinet will be implementing several recommendations for strengthening the regulation of the telecom sector, including clear standards to determine whether applicants for licenses are fit and proper.
An overall review of the legal and regulatory framework for the telecommunications industry to correct drafting deficiencies and other weaknesses, to reflect contemporary realities, including the emergence of new technologies, and to cover issues such as equipment testing, as well as emergency use of spectrum by the security forces, will be undertaken.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness also updated Parliament yesterday on steps to rectify the adverse findings from an audit of the Factories Corporation of Jamaica FCJ. In addition to hiring a new board, Mr. Holness said the FCJ's organizational structure was being reviewed. Court proceedings have meanwhile started to recover $109 million for property sold by the entity, while other land use matters are being resolved.
The FCJ can be an engine of growth, and the board has been charged to move with alacrity to get these projects off the ground. Work has started on the infrastructure for phase 1 of the 120,000 square feet Nagohead Tech Park. And that would mean, Mr. Speaker, that there will be more employment in the business process management sector. Mr. Speaker, they have commenced work on the rehabilitation of the Garmex Free Zone Complex, and that is going apace.
Other long-term strategies include the establishment of a corporate governance committee to comply with the laws governing public bodies. In the meantime, Prime Minister Holness promised to provide an update on a similar audit carried out at the Port Authority of Jamaica in 2 weeks' time. The committee set up by the Prime Minister to review the recommendations from the West Kingston Commission of Inquiry has submitted its first report to Cabinet. The committee is chaired by Justice Minister Delroy Chuck and includes Local Government Minister Desmond Mackenzie, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports Olivia Grange, National Security Minister Robert Montego and Attorney General Mylene Malahoo Fort. Minister Chuck says the report, which was submitted on Monday of this week, is the first of several periodic submissions on how to implement the 15 recommendations that are contained in the Commissioner's findings from the inquiry. Matters for consideration include restoring and promoting trust and confidence in the state, compensating victims for property damage, wrongful death and injuries, controlling the use of force by state security agencies, and dismantling garrisons and mitigating the conditions that give rise to them. Pointing out that some recommendations will require extensive administrative and legislative changes, Minister Chuck says the Cabinet Committee is looking at structures and the management of the implementation process. The Jamaica Agricultural Society, JAS, will be strengthening its partnership with Food for the Poor to increase local corn production. JAS President Norman Grant says Food for the Poor will be providing planting material through a memorandum of understanding to support a national corn planting program.
We will be distributing it to farmers island-wide, and we're hoping that that now will go into a cycle that will assist the feed industry and that will assist other industries.
Mr. Grant says the MOU also includes providing assistance for housing, tools and other equipment. He was speaking at the JAS's recent board meeting. And finally, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, is implementing a number of trash-free initiatives as it intensifies public education on proper waste management practices. They include a trash-free seas project that was launched in collaboration with the United Nations Environment Programme.
Under this initiative, we are seeking to work with different entities such as the US Peace Corps to get different community groups to adopt more responsible waste management practices. So each of the Peace Corps volunteers with support from NEPA and UNEP will be engaging the communities, helping them to design projects that will help them to manage their waste better.
NEPA's public relations officer was speaking at a JIS think tank last Friday. She said the agency was also working with several supermarkets, pharmacies and other establishments to encourage Jamaicans to reduce the use of plastic bags and utilize reusable bags instead. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, will run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Jamaicans are urged to eat more local foods, and our farmers, encouraged to increase production, have been planting and harvesting more crops such as onion and Irish potato. One organization responsible for driving the revolution in agriculture is the Rural Agriculture Development Authority, RADA. They have been introducing new farming technologies to increase agricultural yield.
Agriculture has always been the backbone of Jamaica's economy, providing food and raw material for consumption and export, as well as numerous employment and entrepreneurial opportunities. And the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, has played an integral role in the sector, creating a sustainable environment through the use of technology and contemporary farming practices.
RADA is the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, and it was established to stimulate and promote rural development among farmers and farm families in Jamaica.
Since 1990, RADA has provided over 230,000 farmers with the technical know-how through numerous programs aimed at making them more capable of managing their farms and knowledgeable about how to improve the quality of their output.
We have in RADA several programs. We have internationally funded programs. We have the GeoG Adaptation Fund, which is a climate smart program. We have the agro-parks, which are, as you know, agro-park spans different parishes. And of course, we in RADA provide the technical services necessary to bring those parks into, productivity and production. The Irish Potato Program was a program that started some years ago, probably 5 years ago. And one of its main objectives is to promote sustainable production of Irish potato. And it is one of those crops that we term import substitution crops. We are about 90% self-sufficient.
I have benefited from the Irish Potato Program. Yes, and I have also gotten training along with seedlings, fertilizer and stuff like that.
Without RADA, it would be very, very difficult because they form that bridge where you can call to find markets, different ministries, various things that we need.
And RADA has also been incorporating more women and youth in its programs to encourage new entrants in agricultural business ventures.
I was on the GeoG Adaptation Fund program where I did Irish potato. Under that program, women and youth. Irish potato has now become my favorite crop. We learn how to apply the fertilizer, how to apply the spray. When the crop is ready, we will learn post-harvest, pre-harvest, and diseases, all of that under the program.
In addition to hosting programs that provide farmers with the exposure and skills needed to transform their farming experience, RADA has introduced appropriate information and communication technologies, ICT, for greater innovations and effectiveness in the industry through the ABIS database.
The acronym ABIS is Agriculture Business Information System. The primary objective is to provide demographic information as well as information on crops as well as livestock. So we do a lot of tracking of agricultural produce. We are working with the Met Service right now to link that information with Met Service so that real-time weather information within particular geographic location can be uploaded to the system, and then we get the feedback and we can assist farmers to make informed decisions as to when to plant and the type of crops they can plant based on weather conditions.
RADA has also been providing continuous certification and training to its extension staff.
Our main mandate is to provide technical advice to farmers. Right, the agency has gone further to provide us with trainings in pest and disease identification and management. They have provided us with training in marketing, proper use and management of equipment, use of personal protective equipment and such. And we pass that information on to the farmers on a daily basis.
The agency continues to find methods to further modernize the sector.
Our new board members here have decided we have three main focal points that we'd like to concentrate on. The first one is to increase the capacity to our technical team to send messages and information to our farmers in a more modern way. The second point is that we're going to try and encourage our farmers to produce more locally grown crops and things like onions and ginger that we import a lot. The third one is the value-added part of it. For example, when you have cabbage and carrots, you sell them to the supermarket or to the hotels, but you also have like a grade B type of product. And what do you do with it? You can shred it and put it in pre-packaged packets to sell to the supermarket. So that value-added product will mean that we'll have absolutely no produce at all going to waste.
I think RADA has done a good job. RADA has to assume a role of providing technical advice and the transfer of technology so that we can become productive and hence more competitive, so that the products that we produce can meet the standards required for export, not only to satisfy the Jamaican output, but for exports.
If agriculture doesn't grow, the economy can't grow. And so RADA is a critical element in agriculture and a critical element for growth in this economy.
I am so grateful for the extension officers. Like, we can call upon them at any time.
I thank them immensely, especially the field officers, because they come out almost every week to check on us.
very worthwhile seeing the farmers utilize the information that they have been given and use it in order to better themselves.
For more information about RADA, call 977-1158 to 60 or email executive@rada.gov.jm.
Recently, persons from various communities were trained by the Ministry of Justice to help fellow citizens deal with various social issues. Here's what happened.
This is community justice. Residents who are standing up for peace and just actions, reclaiming Jamaica land we love.
The decent, law-abiding citizens of our country must now be more proactive and seek ways and means to overcome those who want to destroy Jamaica. Goodness must triumph over evil.
It's not a one-citizen thing, and it's not just a town thing. The Ministry of Justice is rallying the masses from country to town,
creating a national movement of decent and upright people to take back Jamaica and to return discipline and respect for the rule of law in this country.
Using a series of public sensitization sessions, the ministry is seeking to bring together peace monitors or justice leaders. Pastors, doctors, custodians, lawyers, teachers, and other positive community members are being trained in justice programs such as child abuse, domestic violence, human trafficking, mediation, restorative justice, and legal aid. Professionals within the justice system are on hand at the sessions, equipped to answer questions.
Victims who have been sexually abused, and I speak to the evidence. A young miss, she is impregnated by an adult, and the man leaves the area. This is in relation to soca. The man leaves the area when it's hot, and a year after, he's back in the area. What's the follow-up?
As it relates to teenage pregnancy, or persons who got pregnant below the age of 16, we don't just investigate and leave things hanging. We follow up. So if the person left the community, we're still after him. We try to find out where he is. If he comes back to the community, we go, we get him, we put him before the court.
Armed now with the knowledge of truth and justice, the community members will now help other citizens access justice services, resolve conflicts, and be productive members of society.
We're sending a signal to the Jamaican people, and in particular, all law-abiding and decent citizens of this country, to join us in the work that we are doing to safeguard the future of our country as we move towards a just, safe, and secure Jamaica.
I think the sensitization sessions, it's a great initiative of the Ministry of Justice. I think it teaches us now as citizens to have a greater responsibility, and it has opened our awareness. There are several activities that you can access through several services through the Justice Ministry. So it's not only limited to human trafficking. We have learned today of victim services. We have learned about legal aid services in addition to restorative justice. And key as well is that we have to access those who do not have access. So we now have to go into those remote locations. So it's not only to those internet users or social media, in other words, but it is just a great responsibility. I love the initiative, and it just makes you feel good to be a part of this great effort.
The project is being carried out through the Justice Undertakings for Social Transformation program. Already more than 200 persons have been trained. By year end, over 2,000 persons will be on the program. Peace, civility, good order and improved behavior in communities will be the fruits of this program.
This helps the problem from reaching to the court, where it takes a lot of time and a lot of pile-up that is being done today.
I think it's very good. It's commendable on the part of the ministry to have done this. Based organizations would be the best avenue to reach the population and to have people committing in their own space, in their own community, persons who are familiar with the situation and the culture and are willing to serve.
Justice, truth be ours forever cannot be achieved without community members.
Nobody want to plant the can. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man? You are the pen pan. Well, you're wrong.
Farmers, let us be serious about PRAEDIAL larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of PRAEDIAL larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. PRAEDIAL larceny is everybody's business.
No mind if me stall. Them no business if me back against the wall. This a living sometime making me ball. Seems like there ain't no love.
In the next feature, we show you why buying and drinking locally produced milk is not only good for you, but will help revitalize the economy.
Hazelnut brown, white, spotted, horns or not, they produce that nutritious substance which makes strong bones and teeth. There is a drive on to have Jamaicans drinking more local cow's milk. For the last few decades, the consumption of Jamaica's cow's milk has declined significantly. The annual production of local milk has dropped from 600 farmers producing 38.8 million litres in 1992 to less than 200 farmers supplying approximately 12 million litres in 2015. At the same time, the consumption of milk and milk substitutes account for more than 60 million litres annually, 90% of it imported.
That's what point we were able to say, but I don't think it was really a glut. It was the importation of the cheap milk powder. And the milk powder doesn't have to be refrigerated. They were overlooking the nutritional value of cow's milk.
The decline in local milk consumption has affected several areas, causing a high import bill and a decline in employment opportunities.
I experienced milk a whole cool, and I'm talking about like 300 gallons of milk. And you have to just run it down the drain like that. And when you throw the milk, you still have to pay the workers, still have to pay electricity, still have to pay all your bills. Because you can't go to nobody who tells you have to throw the milk.
It also affects the cows, as the decline in consumption causes fewer milking sessions, forcing the breasts to become painful from an excess of milk. Despite the perils of the industry, there are farmers who refuse to be cowed by the appeal of cheaper imports. Oral Wallace is one such farmer who has put his life on the line to stay in the dairy business.
It was started in about 1969 by my father, Mr. Rupert Wallace, and my mom, Miss Pansy Wallace. They bring it up to about the year 2000 I took over, for about 2002. The major challenge for dairy farmers, I think, is PRAEDIAL larceny. Because at night I can't sleep. I have to be up there. They make after me 2 times, I think within about 3 months period. And they came with their guns, but I had to take cover, and afterward they were evaded. Milk industry, it's basically you have to be a lover of dairying to be in it, because the dairy industry is not an easy road.
Gulping the white substance to the last sip will be a daily routine for every Jamaican if these entities have their way. 4 companies have formed a partnership to revive the island's dairy industry under what's called the Drink Real Milk campaign. The government-owned Jamaica Dairy Development Board, CB Group through its subsidiary Nutrimix, Separate Limited with its Surge Island Dairies, and Newport for San Jamaica Limited have come together to increase the production and consumption of Jamaican milk over the next 10 years. The target is to produce 20 million litres annually.
The industry itself was really degenerating quite significantly. It's a cause for concern for everybody.
The partners aim to overhaul the industry on 2 levels, production and consumption. The production strategy seeks to improve access to better genetic material, enhance animal health, and institute customized feeding programs and proper pasture management. The Jamaica Dairy Development Board has stepped in boldly to help in this area.
The Dairy Sector Revitalization Project, flagship project or activity is the concessionary loan program, where farmers have difficulty in accessing loans at reasonable rates. So we have instituted a program where we allow farmers funds, loans through the Jamaica Dairy Development, the DBJ Development Bank of Jamaica and its affiliates, where farmers can access loans at the rate of 5%, which is quite competitive. There's a 5 million threshold for the individual borrower, and for corporate entities, it's 10 million.
The Dairy Board has also committed more than $20 million to deal with PRAEDIAL larceny in partnership with the Agriculture Ministry. On the consumption side, the campaign seeks to encourage purchasing of fresh, locally produced milk to support the island's farmers, promoting the health benefits of drinking milk and sharing additional benefits of drinking cow's milk versus powdered milk.
Over the past few years, milk has been a little bit quiet, and so everyone else, all the milk substitutes have been in your face and telling you, oh, you know, you should drink us instead. But the reality is, there's nothing like real milk, and what we're trying to get people to understand as well is drink Jamaican real milk.
Once you let the people aware of the nutritional values of it, it will go right back up. I was almost born on a farm, and from I've born, I've been drinking cow's milk, and do I look sick? Not at all.
Supporting the local milk industry provides jobs, increases the country's economic wealth, and nourishes our bodies. Persons interested in entering dairy farming may contact the Jamaica Dairy Development Board at 618-7107 or 927-1731-50.
To make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families and do business, we need to have a peaceful society. A big part of getting along is respect. Simple words such as thank you, please and you're welcome can go a far way in maintaining peace. And if you hurt someone, sorry can ease tension and may prevent a situation from becoming violent. Every citizen in Jamaica should feel comfortably in their environment. It is important to respect people's opinions, though they may be different from yours, and listen to others when they speak. Do not be quick to judge. It's also important to respect people's property by returning items when borrowed and returning them in good condition. Jamaica is a wonderful country. Let us play our part in making it a great place for everyone to live by respecting each other. And that's it for today's show. Join us again tomorrow for another informative edition. Remember to share your feedback and comments. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or follow us on Twitter @JISNews. Browse our website, jis.gov.jm. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.